And next we have Susan Sweetman. Good evening, Mrs. Sweetman.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Some of you know my family. My husband and I are longtime residents of Livonia. I myself graduated from Bentley High School, and we have two sons who have graduated cum laude from Stevenson High School. In the past, we've been very pleased with Livonia Public Schools education. Now, not so much. I've withdrawn all my children from Livonia Public Schools, and while they are receiving an excellent education, it's not at the public school level. And I'm really disappointed in this school board. My husband and I appeared before you on September 21st with legitimate concerns that we'd put in writing that went unanswered, and this school board told us we would get a response in writing within 24 hours, and it's now the Ides of March, and you've given us nothing. I agree with Mr. Roman, who said, why didn't Randy answer those questions? Dr. Lipa, February 23rd, I sent a letter to you, and you haven't responded to it. In September, we made legitimate complaints about Mr. Eric Stromberg at Holmes Middle School, and those haven't been responded to. All that we've gotten is repeat letters from Mr. Rodney Hosman saying that our son is not a resident of Livonia Public Schools, despite the statutes and the case law and the regulations under the schools of Michigan. Part 3, Administration of Programs and Services, Rule 340.1732, Designation of Residency, Rule 32. I won't bore you with the whole kit and caboodle, but Mr. Hosman points to one little section in there, and nobody followed section number 5. If a disagreement occurs between two or more school districts as to the residency of a student, you all were supposed to notify the Michigan Department of Education. I do appreciate that one member of this school board has responded to us, but nobody else. You guys are violating statute and case law and regulations. Let me just read to you Michigan Compiled Law 380.10. It is the natural, fundamental right of parents and legal guardians to determine and direct the care, teaching, and education of their children. The public schools of this state serve the needs of the pupils by cooperating with the pupils' parents and legal guardians to develop the pupils' intellectual capabilities and vocational skills in a safe and positive environment. The school refuses to allow my son to attend Holmes Middle School, saying he's a resident of another school district, but won't follow the very same rules that you're applying. In addition to that, in September of 2009, while you were saying that my son's not a resident of this school, you kept him on the rolls, and I suspect that Livonia Public Schools is counting students while simultaneously not providing an education or acknowledging their residency. And I believe that I can prove those suspicions. And if that's true, I believe that that's fraud. If you're taking funds...
Are you accusing the school district of doing that, ma'am?
I'm saying that
I need to know if you're accusing the school district of doing that.
I'm saying that I have evidence that I suspect that this is happening.
Are you accusing the school district of doing that?
Sorry, do you have, is it my turn to speak?
I've asked a question. Are you accusing the school district
of
doing that?
I would like you to respond to my written complaints, and what I'm going to do is give you...
You can give that to Mrs. Wozniak at the end of the table.
Please address the following in writing in a timely fashion. Number 1, my
Ma'am,
September
if you have that in writing, it's better if we get it in writing, and Mrs. Wozniak can make copies of it for the entire board to have that, okay?
You've interrupted me, and that's also kind of rude.
It's actually 3 minutes are up, and that's the time period that is allotted for community members that would like to address the board. You have brought up several issues this evening that can be investigated and looked into and answers returned back to you on, as well as back to the board members on. If you'd like to give that to Mrs. Wozniak at the end of the table, we will take care of that,
Will
okay?
I get a response from the school board?
You will get a response from our administration, is who you will get a response from. Thank you.
Or our attorneys.
Thank you.